What is up, Cancer? Welcome to your full moon reading in Gemini. So this is the last full moon of the year. It's going to peak on the 4th. We are currently in the energy right now. So it's 3 days up to peak and then 3 days after it's still pretty potent. So yeah, feeling the energy right now. So this full moon can inspire some deep conversations, can kick off some creative ideas, can also help to explore different viewpoints and basically just an overall new perspective. I want to find out what area of your life this moon could be affecting, all right? So what's going on for Cancer? Full moon in Gemini. Tell us about Cancer, please. Okay, so we have the South Node. So your South Node is your past. Okay, it's past life, things you've already things people you've already been, things you've already been. It's things you've mastered previously in a previous lifetime, and it could be you leaving something behind as well. We have the 8th house, so this is joint assets, sex, transformation, and inheritances. I believe Taurus had 8th house as well. I don't think they had South Node. But they did have, I think, the 8th house. There was a couple of signs that did, so you might want to check that out. So, yeah, you might be feeling a little stuck in a situation. Too comfortable. Maybe too comfortable and not ready to go through any kind of transformations. Maybe you are having trouble if there is some sort of breakup or ending, and dealing with joint assets. Let's get a little more, please, for Cancer. Escapade. Yeah, sold. There's the house on the card with the keys. The escapade is, it's like, living out a facade. It's farce. It's not real. Yeah, I feel like, so denial. Look, Cancer. Don't shoot the messenger, okay? I got to tell you what comes out. It looks like you're struggling to move on from person, place, thing. Okay, because the moving can be, physically moving away from people, places, or things. An actual location change, or just, maybe moving out of a house, okay? But it's almost like, I feel like you're hiding behind the shades, a facade, right? It's almost as if wherever you are, wherever you're living or whoever you're with, it literally is a movie, right? You're showing people what you think they want to see about your home life, your relationship life. But truthfully, deep under, there's a denial here. There's a denial of something needs to transform. There needs to be a moving on. And it's kind of like, South Node, you're too comfortable, you're stuck. Time to leave somebody or something behind. And you have not really been facing this. And I think what's happening here is this full moon's gonna shine light on it for you, because I think you've been in denial. So let's get a little more on the denial, please. Declaration, we the people. Ugh. And we have the map. So we've got Leo energy. We've got Aries energy. The map, right? So map is no different than physically being on the move, right? Here you've got, vacation on this card. But, it is a sense of being on the move, right? Finding your way, finding where do you really belong? Getting a clear direction, getting a new perspective, right? Getting a new perspective on the current situation. And I think it almost feels like you've been playing by somebody else's rules, right? This card here is the Declaration, and it's got we the people. It's like the Declaration of Independence. And, I think you've been playing by somebody else's rules. And now it's time to find your own way, right? What is your way? And you've been in denial and you've been stuck. You haven't, when you have the shades on at night, it's like you can't really read the road signs clearly, right? You're not seeing something clearly. And full moons, well, they shed light in the dark, right? So it's like, okay, what you haven't been seeing, you're going to see. Here we have Virgo energy. We have the oak tree. Protection, growth, much like shelter, right? The oak tree is deeply rooted. And I think you've been too deeply rooted in a situation that like I said, it feels like you're living out under somebody else's rules. And it's, well, what are your rules? It's time to figure out what is it Cancer wants, rather than, well, what does everybody else want? It's all about you getting the lay of the land, figuring yourself out, getting yourself stable, deeply rooting yourself where you belong. Tell me more. Yeah, here's the fishing pole. There's Virgo energy again. You could have some strong Virgo in your chart. Virgo is the south node right now, and Pisces is the north node. So it almost gets me a feeling that some of you, your south node could actually be Virgo. And it's time to make yourself uncomfortable, right? To map out a new direction for you and not be so stuck on either, other people's ideas and rules or a person's specific ideas or rules. It's time for you to take a look and reflect and connect with you. Okay? This is about improving you. This transformation, this physical move would be beneficial to you. Okay? Not anybody else, but you. One more. So right now is a good time to get out in nature, to get some fresh air, especially during the full moon. Some of you, this could be very well a profession that you're transitioning into. It's almost like you're ready to transition into a new profession, something that's completely different than what you're used to, which would make sense of getting out of the Virgo energy, because I'm not saying Virgo energy is bad, but if it's your south node, that was you in a past life, that you've already been that person. You, my friend, want to look at being Pisces. You want to look at those dreams. Okay, you want to be intuitive. You want to get your imagination open. And much like the escapade, it's, escape. So it's like you need to escape out of an old life so you can transition into a new one, going after the dream, right? Using your imagination, being that free spirit. Some of you need to pay attention to some details about being under somebody else's rules. And this is basically when you're splitting. So if this has to do with, love, and it's about the assets, the wealth, in order for you to accomplish what it is that you're trying to accomplish, in finding your own way, going by your own rules, taking the shades off, allowing yourself to transition away from, people, whatever group of people that is making you feel stuck. This is where you need to make your rules, follow your own rules, and express this. Okay, and stop being irrational, trying to make excuses for anybody. You know, it's not going to be status quo anymore after this full moon for you. No more being in denial. Yeah. Yeah, no more delays, no more, you know, having lack of direction on what it is that you want and where it is you want to go. Page of Wands in reverse. Absolutely not. No more delays. Yeah, Six of Swords, moving on to calmer waters. You know, it's the transition, right? The transition of whatever uncomfortable situation this is, living situation, you know, the uncomfortableness of the transformation and getting, yeah, there's the King of Pentacles. There's the wealth, right? The cufflinks. This is the wealth, the profession. Some of you, like I said, are learning to transition on into a new position. This is what's going to make you abundant. The only way to ascend and grow is to get uncomfortable. When you get uncomfortable, you're growing, because don't you remember laying in bed as a child and your legs ached and they hurt? And you tossed and you turned in your bed, and that's because you had growing pains. They hurt. They hurt for a reason. And that's because when you're a child, your bones are expanding, you're growing, you're getting taller. That's what happens when you go through transformations. So it's time to move on from people, places, things, so you can step in to reclaiming your own power and who you are, and becoming you once again, secure, abundant. And you know, the King of Pentacles is a provider. So you may have been providing in a situation too much, and now it's time to put that back into yourself. Stop delaying what it is that you want. You know, if it's a new profession you're trying to transition onto, or if you're trying to move away from somebody that, you know, has you under their thumb and living under their rules. No, you're transitioning on. You know, this is a new journey. You're taking what it is that you need. Okay, you're not no more. This is it. Action. It's time for action. You are not, like I said earlier, I said it for a reason. You know, it's almost like watching a movie in showing people on the screen what you want them to see. But realistically, those actresses and actors have real lives, right? They go through real things. We just don't see it because they have a job to get in front of the camera and play this role, read the script. And I think you're done with that. You're done living out something that's a farce. Like it's not for you. And like I said, I was getting a couple different stories. So some of you, this is just, like I said, moving on from, you know, somebody you're splitting up assets with. You know, you've been comfortable and stuck. And then others of you, it's time to transition on to that new profession that you want to do. Oh my gosh, I have a tickle in my throat. It's like somebody doesn't... You're afraid to talk about this. It's like you're afraid to stand up and stand in your power and speak truth to what it is that you want. You know, this is finding your way. This is rooting your own, you know, gaining your own stability. You know, being deeply rooted where you want to be, not where anybody else wants you to be. This is about you. This is your truth. Living in your truth. You know, the rules of your game, not anybody else's. Let's get an angel number. Yeah, during this full moon, you're going to realize no more delays. There's 1919 cycles. So we're in the year of the 9. This is the last full moon of the year. This is your last chance to not bring anything you don't want with you. 6 of Swords. They're only going to fit so much in that boat when they hop in that boat and move on. And this is your time to take what it is that you need and leave the rest behind before you go into 2026. Because if you be careful what goes in that boat with you. Be careful of the people you take with you, the situations you take with you. Because that means you're just starting a whole new year of the same cycle you just came through. Karma, transformation, balance, influence, power. Remember, I'd said here, where did I say it? Somewhere about like gaining your own power back. Cycles, change, renewal, right? So when you change, you're renewing yourself. Having the power to go through the transformation, okay? You don't want any of the negative karma you had this year going in this boat with you into 2026. This is your time to drop it so you can remain the King of Pentacles, whether you're masculine or feminine, it doesn't matter. This is somebody who's financially abundant, you know, and now's the time with the Page of Wands in reverse. No more delays. This is it. During this full moon, you're waking up and you're going to start realizing what's coming with you, what's not. What's my map? I got to map out where I'm going, who's coming with me, and that's it. Karma is approaching. So the question is, what karma do you want to approach you? Do you want the negative karma you've been in? Or do you want the good karma because you learned to get uncomfortable and let go of what no longer is, you know, serving your purpose of where you are right now? Let go of the need to control, as you cannot force things to happen. Embrace the lessons life offers to prevent them from repeating in the future. Didn't I just tell you about that? Moving on into 2026, this boat's only going to carry so much. Be very mindful of what goes with you into 2026. Reevaluate the people in your life and the places and the things. Make room for new experiences and positive transformations in your life. 1 is the beginning. 9 is the end. So after the 9, here comes another beginning, a chance to be the Fool, right? It's the cycle. So each year, there's new things we learn we need to let go of. And then the next year, we're like, this is what I want in my life. That's how we ascend. That's how we grow. That's how we get out of the South Node. Use the South Node when you need to. It is not something we live in 24/7 every day of the year. No, you use it when you need it. But to ascend and grow and transform, You've got to get into your North Node. All right, I'm off my soapbox now. It's just because I care about you, Cancer. I'm a water sign too. I'm deep. I'm intense. Yeah. And I'm telling you, the boat is only going to carry so much. So be very mindful. So the signs we have out that could be strong in your chart, you could be dealing with Leo, Aries, heavy Virgo, Taurus, Taurus again, Aquarius, yes. All right. I hope that was helpful, Cancer. Much love and light. I will talk to you soon.